Hello everyone and welcome to the Superhero Chronicles, and this time I'm going to be covering Batman Begins, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Katie Holmes, and Liam Neeson. Let's waste no time, let's dive right into this. My thoughts on Batman Begins? Simple. Great movie. Love it. Christopher Nolan, this is Nolan's first outing as a Batman director, and he does a really good job. Really good job. The movie visually looks beautiful. The cinematography by Wally Pisfer is starting to look at. The location shoots look amazing, especially the where Batman is in, where Bruce Wayne is in Tibet, with Ra's al Ghul, under the guise of Ducard, the man who became his trainer, and the lair that Ducard is in this beautiful landscape, which is full of ice and snow, and it looks stunning to look at, especially in wide shots. It looks phenomenal. And also, there's this frozen lake that we see where Bruce and Ducard are training and swordplay, and there's this nice establishing shot of an ice cave and everything around it, and it looks spectacular. So yeah, the location shooting in this film looks gorgeous. The CGI very minimal, and for the most part, some places it looks good, other places it looks, especially with the bats look bleh, but the other things they look phenomenal. The use of practical effects done awesomely, especially the tumbler, which is a cool looking bat tank, which to me is a little nod in reference to the Dark Knight Returns with Frank Miller and Batman's bat tank and that. So I do like that, because Batman Returns is awesome, because Dark Knight Returns is awesome. The hand-to-hand combat fight scenes in this movie, in some areas they're done really well. In other areas they're done a little, there's some shaky cam going on there, and they're very close up, so it is kind of hard to get a take on it. But there is this one scene that I love. It's we got a bunch of crooks. They're in this. They're in this I don't know if it's a warehouse, an outside warehouse, something like that. And this is Bruce's first official scene in the Batman costume. And he just picks off these guys one by one, and looking back at it now, very reminiscent to how you would play the Arkham games, and where he would just stealth attack him. And it's a very well done scene, and I like it a whole lot. The performances in this movie, Christian Bale as Batman. You either like him or you hate him. I personally like Christian Bale as Batman. I thought Christian Bale as Ninja Batman was awesome. I thought he did a great job. I thought his Batman voice was done much better in this one than it was in the preceding movies, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I like him as Bruce Wayne. He does the whole, billionaire playboy thing to a T, coming off as a snobby prick in some scenes, and I like it. Katie Holmes, that's Rachel. She's serviceable. I never really found Rachel to be all that of an interesting character. I just found her to be there. She's very bland to me. She doesn't really have any memorable qualities to her in my book. She's she's a throwaway character to me. You could have easily replaced her with Harvey Dent, and it would have been a better movie if just rotated it a little bit, instead of having a love interest, like a mutual friendship. If you would have just had Harvey Dent instead of Rachel. But whatever, it is what it is. The love story, it kind of it works for me, because it works for me because Batman in the end doesn't really get her in the end, because Bruce decides to fully commit himself to the Batman idea. Michael Caine as Alfred, amazing. Michael Caine is good in every movie he's in, except for Charles Revenge, where he just phones it in. But in this movie, solid performances. I love the dry humor he has. He has a lot of funny lines. I love the chemistry between him and Christian Bale. They work really well with each other, and I love that whole surrogate father-son dynamic between them. Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul is outstanding. To me, this so far is the definitive Ra's al Ghul performance. I've yet to see anyone come close to topping this. Because Liam Neeson has that commanding presence to him, and you believe him. You believe in everything Liam Neeson says. You believe it, and I love the chemistry between him and Belle as well. And it's sort of like a reversal of the Alfred and Bruce thing, or Ra's sees themselves as Bruce's father figure, but almost as an anti-father figure in a way, where Alfred tries to instill the morals and like these put yourself before others and save and like be type of thing. Ra's is like tries to instill Bruce with the you have to do all that is necessary to achieve what you must. If that means killing, then you gotta kill. Type of morals. And I like it because Bruce rejects Ra's al Ghul. They have a lot of respect for one another, but he rejects those teachings because he will not allow himself to be an executioner. And I love that. I love the fact that Bruce will not, will ultimately not give in to what he should be instead of what he could be, and instead goes for what he should be, which is that symbol of hope. And that's not symbol of hope, but that symbol of the symbol of, I guess you could call it a symbol of hope or whatever. So yeah, the whole dynamic between Bruce and Ra's really works for me. I like it a lot. Cillian Murphy. I like Cillian Murphy as Jonathan Crane. I like him as Scarecrow. There was a lot of promise, but this is my big flaw. This is my big criticism with the movie, and this is where the movie, to me, I cannot give it anything less than I cannot grade it any higher than the grade I'm going to give once I get to the bare bones end. But Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane, is so wasted in this movie. It is criminal. He is criminally wasted. Scarecrow. The whole movie, the whole template of this movie is fear and conquering fear and what fear can do. And you got the Scarecrow, who is pretty much, his entire character is built around fear because he has the fear gas that he uses to screw with your mind. There are places where they went there, but they didn't fully go there with him. And I'm like, you're missing a golden opportunity over here. A very golden opportunity over here to really get some really cool, creepy, funky imagery going on, and instead, he poisons Carmine Falcone, who was a mob boss, who in a really cool scene where Bruce goes to confront him in a bar, gives him this speech, and to me, this is the speech that further inspired Bruce to want to be more of someone who fights for justice instead of being instead of someone who fights for revenge. So I love that whole little speech that Carmine gives to Bruce because it kind of lights a fire under his ass. So I like that whole deal. But anyway, back to Cillian Murphy. So he poisons Carmine Falcone. Okay. Batman faces Batman for the first time and he blasts him with fear gas. Okay, he got the better of it. Okay, I like it a lot. Once they have that second altercation, that's where he went downhill. Pretty much Batman poisons Crane, then Crane comes back and he gets shot in the eyes by a fucking taser. And you never see him again. What the hell, man? What the hell, Nolan? You are as a director, you're visually stunning. You have these amazing visuals that you can pull off. Scarecrow is tailor-made for you, and you waste him. You waste him for no reason. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Scarecrow to me could have been is a character who is made to be in a movie as a villain, especially as a more serious villain, and not to me as pretty much as a joke. Because near the end of his run in this movie, he was relegated to a joke. It really got on my nerves. I hated it. Because Cillian Murphy was winning me over, and then when they got that last half, it just you jumped the shark. You completely jumped the shark, and I wasn't on board with it. And that's one of the main, and that's a really big reason why I can't give this thing a high grade. A higher grade, I should say. But anyway, let's get back to more. And of course, we have Morgan Freeman, the great Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. Again, the banter between him and Bruce and Morgan and Lucius being and always kind of knows what's going on with Bruce, but at the same time, that doesn't stop him from having these real response. What would a billionaire need with spelunking equipment, something like that. So like, I love that whole like bantering humor between him and Bruce. They got, again, good chemistry between two good actors. And of course, we got Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon is amazing. Spot on as Commissioner Gordon. This was the Commissioner Gordon that I've been waiting for forever, and Gary Oldman just relishes in this role. I love the relationship between him and Batman, and I love the fact how they didn't like drag it out and drag it out and drag it out like it normally. I like how it's like they had the initial meeting. Boardman is skeptical. He chases him. Good. Once Batman catches Falcone, that's where Gordon instantly says, okay, this guy's only up and up. He got one of the biggest mob bosses. I can trust this guy. I like how that happened quick. I like how Gordon and Batman became, partners quick and not drawn out to like the last half of the movie. I like how it happened fast because it just makes the movie flow much better, and it flows. And it's an even flow to the big climax, where Ra's al Ghul, Ducard, pretty much reveals that he's been Ra's al Ghul the whole time, and the guy that was originally Ra's al Ghul, who was Ken Watanabe, who was in the movie very briefly, but looked a lot like Ra's al Ghul, but also had a really commanding presence to him. Even though he didn't have a lot of lines, he had that commanding presence to him. So I like Ken Watanabe as fake Ra's al Ghul. And I also like the little fight scene he and Bruce have, all in the mountains. Anyway, we find out that Ra's is back. He's going to destroy Gotham, and we find out he's also working with Scarecrow, because Scarecrow has put his hallucinogens into the Gotham water supply. And what Ra's is going to do is he's going to use this thing called a microwave emitter to evaporate the water supply that is already laced with the fear toxin. So pretty much everyone in Gotham has been drinking this water laced with fear toxin. What the microwave emitter will do is going to evaporate the water, not only in Gotham, but also that people have consumed also. It is going to drive them completely insane, and Gotham's going to tear itself apart to restore balance to the world. So Batman has to stop him, which he inevitably does by in a really cool sequence where he and Ra's are fighting on the train, and you get Commissioner Gordon and the Tumbler trying to shooting at the rails to try and bring the train down so that it don't crash into the Wayne Tower, which is like the central hub. And if that train with the emitter crashed into Wayne Tower, it's going to destroy everything. So it's a very intense scene. I like that a lot. Another really intense scene is the whole Tumbler chase scene with the cops, which is a fun fucking scene. One of the best scenes ever in a comic book movie, where Batman's racing against time because Rachel got sprayed with that fear gas, and if Batman can't get to the end in time, her mind will be lost and she'll die. And he's doing everything in his power to try to avoid getting captured by these cops. And it's just a fun chase scene that really gave this movie that adrenaline push that it needed up to that point. So I like it a lot. So anyway, Batman does eventually stop Ra's al Ghul, leaves him to die pretty much, because Batman says, I don't have to save you. Wait, I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you. Where's Rachel? I'm Batman. Anyway. So anyway, the train, evaporates. Batman saves Gotham. He and Gordon save Gotham. But it's also bittersweet because while Gotham as a greater whole is saved, a section of Gotham was completely lost, that being the Narrows. But Batman is optimistic that by working together, they're going to save Gotham by saving Gotham. And of course, the movie ends on the sequel cliffhanger where, Gordon hands Batman this piece of evidence. Batman flips over, and we see the Joker card. And boom, cut to black. So yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on Batman Begins. When all is said and done, I still like this movie a lot. But the misutilization of Scarecrow is a big flaw to me, especially when your whole movie has a theme of fear, and you have the character in Scarecrow whose entire character is built on fear, and you do so little with him. This is not a perfect 10. This movie is a solid 8 out of 10. You lose 2 points by that misutilization of Scarecrow because you had something going with it, but you completely decided to not fully run with it, and you lose points for that in my book. But the rest of the movie, mwah, beautiful. Directing is on point. The acting is fantastic. Cinematography is beautiful. The location shots are stunning to look at. The practical effects are fun, make the movie seem more realistic. And this whole realistic approach of Batman is also done expertly. So yes, 8 out of 10. If you have not seen Batman Begins, what is taking you so long? Watch it. It's good. Anyway, I'm AJ Legend. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll check you back next time for more.